Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Circle TV. Oh my gosh, I am so excited today. Today, we have many amazing brothers and sisters coming into our TV. So, these are only some of the authors, obviously, not all of them, because this is the only thing I could fit in here today. Otherwise, we would be here maybe 2 hours, and we don't have 2 hours today. So, that is the game today. We're going to talk about lessons learned. Like, let me read you some stats that I actually, I was trying to write some journal article for somebody. And the stats as of October 2024, global COVID-19 cases are showing a decline in positivity rates. It dropped from 8.2 to 5.8 during the 4 week period. Now, I'm talking about just recently, guys, okay? Not from 4 years ago. This is still happening today. In fact, a couple of my friends had COVID recently. So, August to mid September, right? The reduction is based on the data from 89 countries. This is not a US thing, it's a whole global thing, right? They're testing SARS-CoV-2 with an average of 16,209 specimens tested weekly. Now, currently, though, several variants SARS-CoV-2 are being monitored, including the variants of interest BA2.86 and the JN1. So the JN.1 is the variant that is most prevalent, right? This is reported in 140 countries, accounting for 16% sequence cases globally. This has been down, though, let's be honest, from 19.4 percent. So here's the point. The point is COVID still exists, but it's not killing people rapidly like it used to be, right? Obviously, there's variance and differences. So some of our shots is not. I had shots and I still had COVID twice. Right, my mom had COVID 4 times and she had the shots and everything else under the sun, but she is immunocompromised, so she got it anyway. Right, I'm not telling you to be scared or anything, but have a precaution, wash your hands, right? Often, period, and just be mindful. Now, COVID is just like a flu at this point. Nothing to be scared of, but it still is taking a toll on your body. The last time I've had it, I don't know if it was early this year, um, but it wasn't positive, but I felt like it was the same as COVID. The cough just lingers for months, and I feel like my lungs is gonna collapse. It's awful. So being sick, period, is awful. But today, guys, we're gonna have amazing people talking about the lessons that they've learned, and I'm curious of what they have to say. So let me go ahead and show you. This is the book. Look at that book cover. So amazing, isn't it? This is on Amazon, so I want you guys to, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to scan that QR code directly to Amazon, right? Go ahead. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, go ahead and scan it. Now, I'm going to also make an announcement. This is our last anthology for the year. We do 4 times a year. And this one is Against the Grain, Finding Belonging in a World of Resistance. Think about this. I'm in America. If I go to a couple of my American friends' parties and things like that, sometimes it comes up that I'm not American enough. I'm Chinese Filipino. I hang out with my Chinese Filipino friends or just Filipino friends. I'm not Filipino enough. I am so sick and tired of trying to find belonging based on culture, based on my geographic location. Nothing happens. I said, you know what? F it. I'm going to create a group that we don't look at those things, but we look at the work that we do for the community. And I found them. And I found them. So we basically are doing anthologies to encourage and inspire people to think about the intentions that they're going out there for, right? People always wake up, I want to help. Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. Well, where do you want to start? I don't know. Okay. Where do you want to go and do something? Well, I don't know. Figure it out, guys, because if you want to belong to a community, but you don't figure out yourself yet, it's very difficult. So these anthologies are here to kind of be a baseline or foundation of some of those checklists that you need to figure out yourself. Sometimes by writing your emotions, writing your experiences, and just have a moment of reflection and not be afraid that what you might say out there is not appropriate or it's not for business. That's where we come in, right? Combined between Susanna and I, we have about 26 books together. She has 10, I have about 16 books out there, including academic publishing in 6 different languages. We want to make sure that when we write our books, it has an outcome and it has a destination, right? So that's what we do for us. And we love people. So this is another one for us as well. This is my first solo book for this year. I've been doing anthologies a lot, but this is called Mike to Millions. A lot of millionaires that I've noticed, I've talked to when I go to their club and workshop, is some of them who really are successful of earning that big, 6 figure, they use a podcast as a funnel system. But you think, oh, I'm just going to open a podcast and talk. No, no, no. You have to have a strategy. This is why I get 500,000 downloads a month, because of that strategy. And so I have a free Mike to Millions club, actually, that we meet once a month to teach you how to start your journey to podcasting. I also created a journal for you to reflect. If you're not ready, just scan it. It's there. I actually put it on sale for $5 right now instead of $9.99, just for a couple of weeks, because a couple of my friends wanted to pick it up, and that is the reason why I did that. So hopefully, I will see you in our class. So, are you guys ready for everybody else to come in? Yes, yes. I'm gonna bring up everyone all at the same time. So, everyone, please make sure you turn on your camera. And here we go. Are you guys ready? Hi. Ooh,
Hello.
there you are. Hello. There you are. Ooh, Zion. It looks like Zion is here, but his internet is very low. But I think we can still hear him. Annie, how come you're not coming in with your camera? What happened? I know Annie is here, but he's stuck somehow. Annie, go back out and come back in. Hopefully he'll be coming in. How are you guys doing? How are you guys ladies doing?
I'm
Awesome.
fine, thank you. I'm doing okay.
Awesome. So let's talk about this book. I know I wish Annie was here. Annie somehow's internet is not very friendly to him right now. I'm trying to put him in and he's gone. So he'll be back. Marcia Thomas. So let's talk about what are some of the things that you guys first when you guys thought about, hey, I'm sure Annie's like, hey, do you guys want to write in a book? And this is the purpose.
Sorry.
What are some of the thoughts that came in before, like COVID-19? I think I have a lot to say and kind of like specific chapters that you write about. So let's talk about that. But first, introduce yourself. Who is Marcia Thomas?
All right. It's good to be here, Dr. Constance. Thanks for having me. I am Dr. Marcia Thomas. I am a Christian leadership consultant, life and career coach, and I have spent a lot of time in the education industry at all levels for more than 2 decades. I'm also the founder of MTS Consulting and Coaching, which I started in 2020 after COVID to help Christian female executives to balance their faith, their family, and career as they identify and press into their calling and do what they love in relation to their God given purpose and fulfill their potential. And so I got into the mix of writing this book, Lessons Learned from COVID, and I was asked to do it from a leadership perspective because of my background and the fact that I am able to function in I was operating in multiple settings because I was also a professor and a trainer, and still am a professor and a trainer and a facilitator and a motivational speaker. And I also have written some other books which were really academic books, as you have said, also have published a research on disadvantaged rural schools in Jamaica, and also a book which chronicles my experience as a Christian professional in a professional space. And so, a Christian leader in a professional space. And so, I wrote that book also, A Leader Like You. When I got into this and decided now to settle into this book, I thought about how COVID affected my life, my family, my faith, and my career. And so I merged that knowledge and that expertise from a deep introspective and reflective place to write how I feel authentically, where I was going, and how it has transitioned pre, during, and after, and turned me into someone else, pulled out strengths from me that I never knew I had, made me vulnerable because as I shared as a human being, it came to me that self care was also very important. So it pushed me to start a self care series for leaders, Christian leaders in a professional space, and how you balance all of that to become a whole person. Because COVID gave you that time because of the isolation, because of the hurt that many persons gone through, because of how they look to you in your capacity, whether it was as a family member, head, or support system, how they look to you in your church community, how they wanted you to demonstrate your faith and model your faith. And all of that was put together in this chapter. Not hearing your Constance.
I muted myself because my dog is snoring. I said that was a lot to unpack, and thank you for sharing that. When you are, I love that you put your faith first. I love that you said that you're a Christian, right? I love that because I am too. I am not a practicing Christian with my mouth sometimes. I'm just gonna say that. But I love that your heart is in it, and self care is definitely something that was needed during that. And I think a lot of mental for sure, right? Because when we were in isolation, my daughter, my eldest, had some issues with that as well. So, yeah, thank you for sharing. Tulu, how about you, ma'am? Introduce who Tulu is.
Hello, everyone. It's a joy to be here with you today. My name is Tolu Ekwe. I'm from Nigeria. I'm speaking to you from Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria. And over 2 decades now of practice as a pharmacist, but also alongside, I have been alongside my husband, a marriage counselor. Okay, and we've been counseling and helping marriages, people who are preparing to get married, as well as those who are already in the marriage space. Theory and practical are very different, right? So there are two different sets of requirements and needs, and we've been working with couples to help them to get forward. So if you have a marriage that is doing well, you can get better. And if you have a marriage that is struggling, you can also get to a place that is better for you. So work with couples. And we published a book called Redefines that's about marriage and infidelity. But I've written several children's books over the years. And so it was very exciting to now join in on this project, the anthology project. This is my first anthology where you have different authors from different parts of the world coming together to put their thoughts together on a matter that we all shared in common, right? Because COVID affected all of us in so many different ways. And it was lovely to discuss, to share, and also to see things through the eyes of others while also giving my own perspective. So it was really a lovely experience. And I must commend the person who brought us all together, Eni Osung, who, yeah, has been an amazing person. I met him, just maybe barely a year ago, and it's almost like I've known him all my life. So, yeah.
He is amazing. He definitely is amazing. He's my brother from another mister. Someone made a comment. Hey, why are you friends with Any and you guys are so close and you bring him into 50 Inspirational as your ambassador? You guys are competition, right? Like he published books. I was like, no, we're not. How do you see we're competition? We publish books, but he does different theme. Think about a big organization. You do widgets over there, you do widgets over here. We both, do like Apple, right? They have a department for what? iPhone. They have a department for what? MacBook Air. That's what we're trying to do. Annie and I are conglomerates, and he left us again, right? We're conglomerates. We're basically helping each other in certain departments, but independently. When people think of competition all the time, you're never going to go anywhere in life, right? There are some aspects that you have to compete for certain things like budget. Okay, it's even in organizations you have to compete and propose your budget to the manager, the controller. But at the end of the day, when you compete and you have that competition mentality all the time, it's actually a lose lose situation for you, because you don't know everything. You know something, but you don't know everything. So when you start collaborating, then you kind of know this, and you're like, hey, I don't want to do this. I know how to do it, but I don't want to do it. Can you do it? And that's what we do, is we kind of move things around. If I thought any was my competition, I wouldn't promote his own book on my channel. Why would I do that, right? And if he thinks I was his competition, why would he call me out? He wouldn't, and be part of my project. It's because we don't have that mentality. And I love people who really thinks like, yes, we can collaborate. Nothing other than Zion, Mr. Positivity. Hello, sir. It's your turn. Who is Zion?
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Constance and Dr. Marcia and Tolu. So good to have everyone. And yes, Mr. N is back. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for being here. And to everyone who's joining us from all over the world, want to say a very big thank you for supporting us from where you are. We appreciate you so, so much. Well, for those who don't know me, we are meeting me for the very first time. My name is Zion Inokiero, a man who is on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth. One thing I do is I help people, professionals like you, to embrace positivity because we live in a world where there's so much negativity happening around us. But to be able to find that spark of positivity in your life can help you go through the tough time, can help you go through the challenges, and puts you in the right frame of mind. And I tell you to be part of the co-authors of the anthology Lessons Learned from COVID. For me, it's a dream come true. A dream to use our voices to inspire people, to encourage people, to let people know that your voice is powerful. And I tell you, the lessons learned from COVID is something that affects each and every one of us. It affects you, it affected me, and to be able to channel that energy where the world was at the lockdown to write a book just to inspire you. And I tell you, if you have not gotten a copy, try and get a copy. You have to get a copy because why? There are many stories in there that will inspire you. You know, for me, I look at it from a perspective of positivity because through COVID-19, it allowed me to really look inward and find purpose in positivity. And when you read through the book, you can find that in there how COVID really helped me as a person to embrace forgiveness, to embrace gratitude, to embrace humanity as it is. And when you look at COVID, you know, it was a global pandemic that affected each and every one of us. But here we are going through it, standing firm, standing strong in the midst of the challenges. There's so much in the book that you can learn from every author that we are here because we want to inspire you with our story. We want to inspire you with our life and share with you how it went for us during COVID. But in the midst of it all, we put through, and here we are today using our voice to inspire people all over the world. So I encourage you get a copy for yourself and read the book. And I trust you that it's life transforming. For as many persons that have read the book, they testify of how transformative it has been. And for you too, it can transform your life. So thank you so much, Dr. Constance, for this opportunity to come in here. I'll you the mic.
Thank you. Thank you. And also, I wanted to ask you guys to make sure you mute your stuff if you are not speaking. Definitely, because our TV network will cut us off for sure. Any, bro, you are putting this together, right? I want to hear from the beginning to end. Like, first, who is Any? Everybody knows Any, but my TV people might not know. So I want to know who is Any and how did you say, hey, we're going to talk about COVID in this book? Did we lose Any? Is Any here? I see that your connection is pretty good, but I think he's frozen. He has been doing this on audio rooms too. Is he frozen? Yes, he is. And he is here for sure. Dr. Marcia, we're gonna go with you if you're able.
Go ahead.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your thought process on your chapter.
And he's still frozen. I thought he was coming in.
Yeah, I thought so too. I heard something.
All right. So as I sat down and thought about the book, I looked towards the end of COVID. I thought about how it all would come to an end, and if it would ever come to an end, and how will my life move forward in my family, in my career? What will be the difference? Because at the first, when COVID came around, I thought that it would just be for a few months and then it would all end. It went on to more than a year, and so by that time life had changed, the dynamics of your career changed, the dynamics of your family, the expectations have changed, the adjustment changed, the mindset had to change, because you now had to settle on what truly mattered. And what mattered was really not the future, but trying to get ahead day by day. That is what became a prominent and present reality for all persons across the world, and trying to connect with those persons who you may have ignored because of work, because of the pressing needs of the living life, because of how you were navigating your roles, your multiple roles, how you saw the future, and so on. All of that change inward, where persons now realize that companionship, family time, meaningful connections, getting a hold of persons that you may have taken for granted, all of those thoughts came inside my head. And I had to struggle with the thought that I had just seen my mother, and 7 months into the COVID, she was diagnosed with an illness which was required her kidney failure, which required her to do dialysis. And it was because, not because of her life choices, but because of a medication that she took as a temporary measure to deal with circulation, because she was a part of the health industry. And that took a toll on me, because immediately as I used to visit her 3 times a year in Canada, and COVID made it now be telephone, she was getting more and more serious. And the time that I could not spend with her took a terrible toll on me. And then I had to navigate my role in my job, which was losing persons in my job also, losing staff members, they were losing their family members internationally. They were looking to me for comfort and support and guidance. And I had to be navigating my own struggles along with their struggles. And then I also look in my church community, where, as an elder of my church, a female elder that dealt with supporting women and youth, they were also looking to me for fortitude and for me to have certain resilience as they navigated. So all of those thoughts came as a nice little melting pot in front of me. And so I decided that I would now integrate all of those aspects of the whole man, because your life is not just made up of your job or made up of your family, it's made up of life. And everything in life, and how you navigate life, how you confront life, how you have to present and deliver yourself, makes up life. And so I decided to approach my chapter from that side of a composite man: your mental state, your physical state, your emotional state, your psychological state, and how you are expected to show up, and how you must continue after, from the resilient point of view. What is it that you carried out? And know that you have carried it out, how must you use it to serve you, to add value to your life and others, to lift yourself and to lift others, to become your best self. So that was my thought process as I developed my chapter and completed it.
Thank you, Dr. Marcia. That was a lot. I'm giving hearts because we're almost hitting 2,000 people in our live right now in YouTube. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. No pressure. No pressure at all. Any, bro, I've been trying. I've been waiting for you to speak up. Talk to
I'm trying, Dr. Constance. I'm trying. Each time I go to talk, my connection drops off. Don't ask me why, but I'm here now, right?
No worries. So we're gonna start with how you started trying to get this anthology going, and what are your thought process, right?
Yeah, that's what my mission is, to make people famous. That's why I say, right? That means do anything to make my friends who.
Oh no, Annie got stuck. Okay, Tulu. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be so devastated. This is the first time that he's on TV. Tulu, let's talk about you and your thought process. There were listen. When you go in an anthology, the first author, especially in an anthology, you want to just burst into whatever that you want to say, and you want to say everything. But the key to anthologies is only write 3,000 words, 1,500 to 3,000 words about a moment of your life, right? So, which moment of your life did you pick about COVID that you wanted to talk about?
Okay. I hope you can hear me. I lost the last bit of what you said, but I think I got the basic essence. Yeah, like Dr. Marcia mentioned, there were so many angles to it. I could talk about the fact that I'm a wife and mother. I could talk about my parents, especially my dad. My mom had already gone, but my dad was alive. My mother-in-law, we were worried because age was a factor. There were so many angles. But I was working in a hospital and I was seeing live, I was seeing what other people were experiencing and the constant fear of death. Now, I'm also a Christian, and faith has meant so much to me in my life, but more than ever, that's what I could lean on when I had to be there to think not only of myself and my family, but also of the needs of other people around me. You have to lean on something. You would run out if all you had was what was you. You're not enough for that kind of challenge. And so leaning heavily on faith was one major aspect, because the truth is this: life throws all kinds of things at us, sometimes unexpectedly. I think one major thing about COVID was that all of us were facing it at the same time. But when we're not all facing it at the same time, stuff is happening in our individual lives. And where do you go when you run out of whatever resilience, power, strength to be able to withstand what is going on? So faith was a very strong point for me. Another was just realizing it just kind of was like a sieve. It just separated what was important from what was not. And our lives are so busy. On a normal day, we're so busy doing so many things, but not everything is important. And at times like that, you get to choose what's important for you. And if we can live our lives post COVID focusing on those things that are most important to us, I think we would be much more fulfilled and much less spent in the course of our days. So that's something that I want to point out for now.
I love it because I know Zion is a Christian, you're a Christian, we're a Christian. Any. Let's try it. Third time is a charm.
Ah, we'll try again, Dr. CJ. We'll try again. I don't know what goes on, right? Okay. I'm here, I'm talking. So your question was, how did we get around to this anthology, right?
Yes.
And I said, look, my mission is to make people who do amazing things famous, better known, visible. So that's how I met my amazing friends. And I guess as has been said already, COVID was a moment in time that we all went through. And we survived. We didn't just survive; we're thriving. It probably made all of us who we are today. I think when you want to work on a group book, an anthology, you want to tell an important story, something that's going to educate, inspire, and bring everyone together. And I think for us, the COVID conversation was one that not many are having, not many have had. Yet every day now, I still hear about COVID. I was watching the news earlier, and COVID was in the news again. So our thing was to I guess leverage our experiences, put them all together. Especially those from my amazing co-authors and those from people around the world who could truly could tell the story of COVID from the normal person's point of view. But I guess the back of our minds, Dr. Ava and I, when we planned this, was understanding that everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got an inspiring conversation to be had. Because so you don't, we didn't survive COVID, which was so weird for all of us. There's so many new things. One person's story just wouldn't do it justice. whereas 10 people's stories gets close, right? It gives people a lot more insight. When our kids are asking in years to come what happened during COVID, I want them to be reading our stories to see what's truly happened. That's the inspiration behind the book, really.
I love that. And Annie, I think you should definitely continue this as a series because 10 people, look at the world. This is not COVID-19 for the UK or the US or the African countries. It's a COVID-19 is everywhere, right? So I think you should continue this anthology because I see this for me, okay? This is how my brain works right now. Giving you ideas really is this is an emotional and societal impact of COVID-19 serving as a historical record of the global response to this crisis, right? 10 people great, but 10 out of 8 billion, we can do more, right? We can do more. And I think we're looking at it as more of a historical data. No one, when we die, no one ever know how we suffered or if ever we suffered. I'm sure each and every person in this room lost someone they know from COVID-19, right? We talk about resilience, but what about our vulnerability during COVID-19? What was your emotions like? What was your fear like? I mean, 2020, we laugh at it, but it was a year of toilet paper. Like, hello, in the US. Everyone went crazy. Everyone went crazy about toilet paper. I'm like, why? There's Amazon. I literally went to Amazon. I got 60 toilet paper and I look at Costco. Everybody lined up for 4 hours for toilet paper. Why? Why did you do that? Right? It was just so amazing. Like, and students couldn't graduate. It broke my heart. Some of them lost their family members and they can't even see them graduate either. Like I lost three of my best friends consecutively and my uncle at the same time from COVID. And that was harsh. That was really harsh, right? Every single month I was losing a friend, one of my best friends from school. And they were so young, but I guess they had a pre-existing condition that kind of prevent them from even living that, after COVID. So yeah, we talk about it now, we laugh about it now, but it's still happening, not at that capacity. I think, bro, you need another series of what we learned in COVID-19 series number 2 because this is something that people have experienced, and I'm not talking about one. Every single person on this earth have actually experienced that. So this could be a lifetime historical data, like those Britannica. It's kind of like that. Think about it. I'm just giving you an idea. Anyway, Zion, brother, welcome back. I want to know, why did you actually talk about your specific topic? What did you learn about COVID-19? I want to know about that.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. CJ. And Mr. Eddie, it was so good to hear your voice earlier, even though the glitches was trying to play funny. Yes, the lessons learned from COVID, if there's one thing I learned that was very profound for me, it's that humanity can actually unite. We all can actually work together, irrespective of where you are, where you're from, your background. Because COVID gave us a picture of that we are all fighting against one enemy. And it didn't matter your culture, your language, your status. It didn't matter what you've achieved or what you have yet to achieve. There was this unity in the entire world. It didn't matter the language you spoke. It didn't matter your background. You could see people working together. You didn't have to know the next person for so long. But as long as you could help, you could make a difference. People were going all out to make a difference. And that was, for me, was very inspiring. That for me was very encouraging because we live in a world where we hear of so much war, conflicts, countries fighting countries, family fighting families. But COVID brought us to a standstill to let us realize that wars are not important. It is we caring for ourselves, looking after each other, to actually make the world a better place. And COVID gave us a clue that if we want to unite, if we really want to unite as humanity, we can actually unite. We don't have to fight one another. We don't have to quarrel with one another. We can actually live in love, in harmony, together, you know, irrespective of where you're from or who you are. That was one lesson that COVID taught me. And secondly, one lesson I learned from COVID is, in the midst of the darkness, because in COVID, it seems as if the entire world was in total darkness, but still we could still see the light. I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I can say it anywhere I go because I trust in God so much. And faith really played a key role because persons were scared of their dying. For me, I said I will not die because the Bible told me I will live but I will not die. So it was very encouraging for me, even though you could see people, your neighbors, your friends, people you know, they were dying. But then I had this faith, I had this courage that we will go through this. And that really puts me in a place to encourage more people, to let people see the light in the midst of the darkness. And like I said earlier, that's how my positivity brand was being bettered, to be a light in people's darkness, to be hope in the hopeless situation, to give them faith and trust, to let them know that it doesn't matter what it is you are going through. If COVID can pass, what you are going through can still pass. All you have to do is believe, keep working, keep pushing, keep encouraging yourself, and at the end of the day, you will get there. So it's a whole lessons we can learn, and I tell you, we can talk for hours, and it's inexhaustible. But I just want to leave us with a few lessons from mine. Thank you so much, Dr. CJ. I'll leave the mic to you.
Thank you so much for saying that. I, it's so disheartening, right? We have so many wars already: World War II, World War I, all these other things. It's like pandemic was a reset for all humanity. Why are we not learning from it? Why are we still fighting? Why are we still in war? What is going on, right? Why is that? Think about it. I mean, I love what Zion said, and he's frozen now again. It's okay. But here's my Matthew 18, verse 18 to 20, right? For where two or three gather in my name, there I am with them. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter the color of your skin, doesn't matter your bank account. If you believe, you believe, right? Philippians verse 2, 14 and 15, New Testament. Do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky. Think about that. Think about your kids. I have two. I have a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old this time. And every time I said, "Hey, can you take out the trash?" "Ugh, ugh, I'll just do it later." Why is it grumbling all the time? But if they want something, "Mom, I need to go to the mall. I need money." I'm like, "Oh, let me grumble real quick. Let me grumble real quick and see how that feels," right? Because it's so annoying. But honestly, it's our job to teach others, but also it's our job to teach ourselves because it starts from within us, right? And forgiveness and grace and all of that needs to come to us too, not just to other people. And so I love that. But honestly, COVID-19, what I've learned is that um, people somehow have default, like when huge things happen like 9/11 for the US, right? Everyone came together. Why does it have to take a tragedy for us to be human? That's what I want to know. Why does it take to be huge event, people dying, for us to forget about everything else but help? Tulu, what are your thoughts on that before we end? We end in about 10 minutes.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Constance. Dr. Constance. I think that's a very good question. And I don't know that any one of us has the full answer. But if you again look at faith, you realize that there's something that we have in common. We are inherently selfish. Human beings, you see what you were talking about with your kids? Little kids, bigger kids, we are all at the end of the day still kids, no matter how old. And there's that selfish thing in us that just thinks, me, what about me? And how do I
Oh no, she's frozen. Dr. Marcia, how about you? What's your
situation
thoughts on how do we do that? How do we
still express selfishness?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Are you there? Tulu. Oh no. How about you, Dr. Marcia?
Yes, I hear you, and I hear the question. Why does it take a tragedy to bring this reality to our presence? It's because tragedy takes us to the brink of reality, the true reality. It takes us to that wall and keeps us back there to realize what truly matters. And so it is at that time that persons come together now. The mind, and when I say persons, I mean your mind, body, soul, and spirit comes to a reckoning to say, this is an alternative, this is a choice I have. I must choose life. And God says it also, I put before you life and death, choose life. So when it comes to a tragedy where you are at the end of your tether, you're standing at the edge of a cliff, and you do not have the convenience or the comfort to choose nonchalantly what is out there. You are forced to make a very high and conscious choice. You're at the peak of your vibration and you choose life. You do not choose death. There's nobody that chooses death at that point where you can live. And so it unites you at that time because it shows you and make you come face to face with that humanity side of you. So your authority, your power, your all of that is packaged into making you great and unbeatable and vulnerable and strong, takes out all of that and leaves you with vulnerability, and leaves you with humility, and leaves you with yourself. And so you are right there by yourself having to make that choice, and you choose life.
I love that. Yeah, you're right. No one really choose death, right? There are people who are destructive of themselves, but at the end of the day, they're going through that because of pain and nothing else. I want to end
And
this.
just before you speak, Constant, and they also think that what they have chosen is what gives them life. So the choice that they make is an escape because they are thinking that it saves them, it carries them, it makes them live how they want to live. So in the ultimate, they are living and really not dying. Those who are destructive.
Yeah, some of them, like I can name a lot, right? But at the end of the day, I think when they realize at that moment that this is not the life that I want to live, because people are always complaining, like, oh, why my life is going this way? And then they realize the reason is because of the power of choice. They choose to live this life. No one else does, right? You choose to live, you choose to be kind, you choose to be graceful, you choose to be this, or you could choose to be an a-hole and anything else in between, right? It's a choice. And no one makes anybody do anything unless you really want to, right? We have to take accountability, so thank you for that. I want to go around the room actually before we end the series, and ask you, um, obviously, what are some of the things that you would like to tell people in terms of this book that they would like to know that they haven't seen before? Something that's relatable to them. So we're going to start with Zion, and then we're going to go and Annie as well. Zion, are you still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you
Okay,
repeat the question again? Sorry, I didn't get it.
sure. So we have a couple of minutes left, and I wanted to go around the room and ask people. Obviously, we're asking people to buy your book, but what about this book that they want or they can have learn from reading your chapter?
All right, thank you so much. I think I get it now. Well, for those who have not gotten the book, I'm encouraging you to get it. For my chapter, I focus on few key elements. Firstly, in positivity and the power it can bring to your life in the face of challenges and difficult situation. And also, you are also going to learn about gratitude, what it means to be grateful, no matter what you go through. And I tell you, no matter where you are right now in your life, there's so much for you to be grateful for. And if you can count your blessings, you can be able to see that. And lastly, forgiveness. You're going to learn about forgiveness as well. Because I tell you, if there's one thing that COVID taught us as a family, it's forgiveness. Because no one knows tomorrow. But to live in forgiveness is to live life. So thank you so much. I encourage you to get the book. I yield it back to you, Dr. CJ.
Awesome. Annie, you're back.
Yeah, we're back again. Let's hope it holds this time. This is the book, right? Because you're missing
Awesome.
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the book without without the bestseller badge on it. Look, get the book. And I think it's a like you say, it's a lesson in life, really. For me, the story that I tell is simply reality. As I say, we're not mortal. Our time is limited, and COVID proved that we'll literally be gone tomorrow.
Ah. He's teasing us. He's teasing us. Any, I will fire your ISP, internet service provider. This is bad for business, bro. Oh, he's killing me. If that was my internet service provider, I will have a cow. I would have a letter. You are fired. That's what I'm gonna say for sure. Dr. Marcia, let's go ahead with you as well.
What I would want them to get from my chapter is that you do not have to live in fear. And so, in all areas of your life, God has not given us a spirit of fear. He has given us a sound mind. And when we are backed against the wall, we find that we are our greatest asset. And because we are so fearfully and wonderfully made, we can make the choice to choose life. And the choice to choose life means that we live life in the present and we make the most of what we have with the faith, which is the substance of things not seen and the evidence of things hoped for and also not seen. And so fear is something that we have confronted in the pandemic, mastered, and have actually navigated in such a way that we have no reason to fear for the future when we see how God has led us in the past.
I love that. You had just made me think about certain things right now in my head, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I have ADHD, so I'm like, woo, I think I need to do this one. I'm going to do this one. Dr. Marcia, thank you for the thoughts there. Tulu, how about you, ma'am? Invite people to buy the book, and what about your chapter that they could learn from?
Yeah, so thank you so much again, Dr. Constance. I really appreciate this opportunity. Now, this book, right? There are many things you could learn from my chapter, but one thing that I would like you to really take is the fact that for those of you who are married, you don't have forever. We take time for granted. We act like it's always going to be there. We act like someone has guaranteed us time. And we don't have that. My husband was threatened with COVID. He had an episode that shook us and scared me. And you get to see that in the book, okay, in my chapter. And the thought of losing him during COVID while still working and trying to help other people was scary. Okay. And when I think back, it could have gone either way. And for some people, that's the way it went. Don't take time for granted. You have a gift of someone to share your life with. Enjoy it. It's a gift. You want, when it's over, to look back and say, I'm glad we had that. Instead of, I wish I'd said this. I wish I did that, which some people just spend the rest of their lives doing. I think we can avoid that and we can plan instead to have a rich and fulfilling and fun time together. So, for those of you who are married or who plan to marry, please do it and do it well and richly. Enjoy it and go with resilience through it because the tough times do come. Yeah.
I love
So
that. Thank you so much. I love that you're focusing on marriage because it's the foundation of family. Some people choose to be single and been married, and it's okay. I have a lot of friends who are those too. But for those of you who are still married, try harder. That's all I'm gonna say, right? I've been married 21 years. I try harder every day. Okay, but I said if this marriage does not work, I am no longer raising a boy. Okay, I am going all out and going on vacation. I might be visiting you, Tulu. That's what I told myself. I'm like, I am not. This doesn't work out. It's been 21 years. I've given it all myself. But honestly, work harder. In all honesty, that's what I definitely say, right? Because marriage is a work, but at the same time, you got to be present. And thank you guys so much for being here. And we are graced by Any again. Bro, thank you so much for being here at the end. I actually put a QR code for us, for all of those people here. There's a QR code in there. Please go ahead and scan that to make sure that all of I have books and magazines everywhere in my stuff because I do magazines and books, right? But I want to encourage everybody to please support encourage to learn from other people. And I also want to encourage the brother from another mister to fire his internet service provider, and also encourage him to maybe do another series of COVID-19. You never know. Maybe I'll join in. I have a lot to offer for sure, but I don't want to take on the this series. Take
CJ,
it.
CJ, let me say this, CJ. Let me
Okay.
say this. Look, there will be another pandemic type situation, right? So this is just the first of many, I'm sure. So this about for me, this is about getting ready for the next one and being
Mm.
prepared. That's a lesson really for all of us. Like you said earlier, let's stop living the same days, same drama every day, and nothing changed. And
Oh no. He tried. He tried. So I'm glad that he's here. I'm glad that you guys are here. Thank you guys so much for being here. YouTube, thank you for staying over 1,000 live members. Some of them actually are driving, guys. They don't ever comment, right? They don't ever comment. So they're driving, they're on tuk tuk. Like I get DMs and messages on my phone, like, we hear you, Dr. Constance. Wow, that was really nice. I get messages from them. So thank you guys. Say bye to everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys. Thank you, Annie. Bye.